Live from the Export Beer Garden studio, this is the Agenda podcast for Monday, the 18th of March.
The Agenda, an alternative commentary collective podcast.
G Lane, I just saw you rolling up your sleeping bag as I walked into the studio this morning. It's been a big weekend for the ACC. We've been doing absolutely everything. We were down at the Dulux Tradies XI on Friday, which was a while ago now, but I feel like it is pertinent that we rake over the coals of that event. And let's just dive straight in there. ACC dropped 11 catches en route to our, look, I don't know what number it is. All I know is we've never won a game of cricket.
Yeah.
So, look, disappointing. We were set 138 to win, and we, in reply, scored 103.
I thought we bowled okay.
I thought we did too.
I thought we actually, your stock wrongins was one of the few wickets we got. We only got 2 wickets, and that was Ben Hurley clean bowled someone with his first ball, and you got a stumping.
Yeah.
So we actually bowled all right.
Yeah.
Actually physically bowled all right, but we fielded absolutely horrendously.
Well, so the biggest thing for me was the injury toll at the Dulux Tradies XI. We are talking about 44 tradies, sports commentators, basically people that haven't exercised in quite a while or haven't played sport to any sort of aggressive level. There were bodies strewn about the Bay Oval Pavilion.
Good. Wasn't good.
The amount of deep heat, the amount of ice packs, the amount of strapping. There was one physio in there, and she looked like she was in the trenches. She was just patching up bodies, doing the best she could. We had the injury toll just for our team alone was Ben Hurley skittled a guy with his first ball, then blew his calf and was done. Lee Baker brought with him a rolled ankle into the game. He then did his hamstring, groin, and lower back.
Yes.
And at one point, he was out, I don't know what...
he was mid-on.
He was sort of mid-on, but he got picked out 3 or 4 times in the field, and he was limping off both legs, so much so that there was a ball that barely made it to the rope, but it only made it there because he couldn't move. I was commentating in the caravan and the ball came out to the caravan. I had to field it. I had to put the headphones down, go and field the ball and biff it back in. At that point, I was like, Lee, get in the caravan. I'll do the rest of this. 103 in reply, soaking up all of the balls that we had available to us was a little disappointing. Chris Key had an outstanding debut. He walked out onto the field with his thigh pad on the outside of his pants to rapturous applause. And him and Dylan Cleaver, they did not concede their wicket until after the 10th over.
Yes.
So we're halfway through our run chase, 10 overs in. We're only on 40 runs.
Yes. It was a challenge.
Yeah, and so it was like, okay, great innings, 28 runs before you got dismissed, before you ran Chris Key out. It was like, okay, that was a great individual performance. It may have cost us the game because they soaked up so many balls for so few runs.
To be honest, I wasn't expecting him to last that long.
No.
But they didn't bowl well to him. They needed to bowl straight into the wickets, and they didn't. And he was able to baseball back quite a few through leg side.
Yeah.
But a lot of swinging and missing.
Yeah.
As I found out later on, Dylan Cleaver couldn't see anything. And he actually said to me afterwards, this may be the impetus for me to getting laser eye surgery. And I'm like, you tell me that now? Like, could you not have told me before the game that you can't see? He's pretty much Helen Keller. He can't hear and he can't fucking see. And he tells me this after the game. So we open with Chris Key, who's never played cricket, and Helen Keller.
Because just last year, the run out that Jason Hoyt suffered so humiliatingly that you would have seen the footage of was because Cleaver didn't hear him calling.
Didn't have his hearing aids in.
So it took him till Jace was halfway down the pitch to look up and go, oh, no, there's no run there. By that stage, Jace turned around and did the rest of the work himself. But I don't know, what's it going to be next year? He's going to have his tongue removed and can't speak.
I'm contemplating whether we do it next year. It's starting to, it was a joke for a while, but now we are a complete joke.
We were under an injury cloud, though.
Yes.
Jeremy Wells wasn't there.
Yeah, Hoyt couldn't play.
Lee Hart was away as well.
Yeah.
So, you bring those guys back in and it'll make probably zero difference.
Yeah. Correct.
Even our ring-ins dropped a couple of catches. Shout out to Kurt and Max. Max was the victim of your vitriol at the end. You came in like Ricky Stewart and tore the changing rooms apart after we lost that game. And unfortunately for young Maxie, he was just sitting too close to you. And you just called him a fuckwit right to his face, which is the funniest thing that happened on that day to me.
Yeah, some are comparing that rant to the Hitler bunker rant.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think someone sent me a meme of just my speech over the top of that footage, that famous movie footage. Yeah, sorry about that, Max. He did cop a stray from me.
Yeah.
He was just sitting too close to me.
Yeah, he was.
And the fact that he dropped 3 catches.
Yeah, that doesn't help.
That didn't help either. So
The notorious pants man himself dropped 3 catches too.
And he's got such massive hands.
I know, long arms.
Long arms, massive hands.
He's only 23. He still plays rugby league. Like, well, what's his excuse?
Oh, Claire, we need to move on.
Okay, well, just a couple of last. Well,
Yeah.
we'll move on from the game into the night's partying.
Yes.
I would say the Thursday night, bit of first night fever.
Yeah.
Friday night, a little bit more subdued from the ACC team. But Matt Heath, I've got a question for you. Is Matt Heath the Michael Jordan of not paying for beers?
He is either the Michael Jordan or the Pele.
Yeah.
He's the GOAT.
He is the GOAT.
He's the GOAT.
He's the GOAT of not paying for beer. So at one point, he was heading up to the bar to get a drink. He was going up there with sister of Braden.
Yeah.
Courtney Enor, who works here as well.
She's also up there.
She is probably in the running for one of the tightest members of the ACC. And they were up at the bar, and all of a sudden, everyone started elbowing each other and said, how's this going to play out?
Yeah,
Because
who's going to pay?
I've never seen either of these two pay for a beer. And so all of a sudden, they find themselves at the bar, just the two of them, and they're looking at each other. And then they turn around, Heath turns around, sees the whole table's looking at him. And he's like, what? And we're like, no. Go about your transaction. Yeah. How's this going to work out? Well, they had a negotiation. He pulled out his wallet. First time I've ever seen it. I've never seen it.
I'm surprised he bought it. We go on some trips where he doesn't even bring his wallet.
Well, so he pulls his wallet out. Out of his wallet, he pulls a gift card that someone had given him. So he's intending to pay for it with not his money. Courtney ended up paying for it. So Heath didn't even pay for it. He gets his wallet out at like a symbolic gesture of, do you want me to get this or have you got this? She got it. So he still didn't pay for a beer the whole night. He is the Michael Jordan. This was clutch. This was like Game 6 in Utah.
Yep.
Hits the shot over Craig Elo, and wins the title.
Small little shove.
Yeah, small little push off.
Just push Courtney into the bar.
As he went past, hit the fadeaway. Game Bulls. Matt Heath is the Michael Jordan of not paying for beers, which leads me into my next issue, my bone of contention. I have received an email this morning from the Trinity Wharf Hotel, an invoice for $172 for 6 beers and 2 bottles of red wine on the Friday night. I did not drink 6 bottles of beer and 2 bottles of red wine.
Maybe I might have to have a look at mine.
Yeah?
Maybe it might be mixed up with mine.
Oh, it's definitely mixed up, but I was going around accusing everyone in the office this morning.
I put mine on 118.
131 was my room. So the other list of suspects are?
Well, Matt Heath's at the top of the list.
Matt Heath is at the top of the list just because of track record.
Yeah.
He's putting up historic numbers of not paying for his own piss. Hamish Marshall, because he was seen with the exact amount of piss that I described walking back into the pants man's room. And by extension, James Marshall, because it could have actually been him and not Hamish. Kyle Mills will not go without punishment. He was in that same room. But then also so was I. So there's a lot of different permeations going on around here. By the time I'd come into that room, apparently one of those bottles of red wine had been spilled across the carpet already. So it wasn't me, but I need to conduct a thorough investigation as to who it was.
Well, it wasn't bad as the Craigie Range bill we got after one of these Dulux Tradies XI, which was around $5,000.
What does $5,000 get you at Craigie Range? Wasn't it a Jeroboam of champagne?
It was a Jeroboam of Sophia, which is worth a couple of grand.
Okay.
But there was a miscommunication there around when we got shown around our accommodation. They said, help yourself to the wine. And there was a significant wine cellar. And there was a miscommunication there, and we drank all of it.
Yeah.
All of it. And then got the bill afterwards, and we were like, we thought that was part of the... When you said help yourself...
Yeah. This is a great way to make money off the ACC because we've fallen victim to this a few times. There was another bar we were at, and I don't want to say what it was, but they brought us trays of shots, 2 or 3 rounds of shots for about 20 of us.
Yeah.
And it was the owner of the bar that brought them to us. So we all just thought, how charitable.
Yeah.
This is great.
Put it on our rooms.
they put it on our rooms. So, well,
I'm ready to out them. That was the powder keg.
No, Coney, yeah. Yeah, that's fair enough. I was just like, that is entrapment, Your Honour.
Yeah.
Of course we were going to drink them.
Yeah, we didn't order them. And they appear.
Yeah. We didn't know that you were going to charge us for them. But anyway, I digress.
Okay, let's put that to bed. That's one of three quite significant weekends that we've got ahead of us as well. And we've got this weekend as well, and then we've got Easter weekend.
That's right, yeah. So this weekend we're heading down to Wellington for the
ACC
Open down there in Wellington. I don't think there are any spots left.
I think it might be one spot left.
If it's not too late for you to get that Friday afternoon off and come and check it out. And then also this weekend we then fly from Wellington to Christchurch. We're going to be down there for the Sail GP.
Yep.
This weekend we're going to be doing the Agenda Pod from Littleton Harbour Saturday and Sunday as we report live to you from the race zone. We're going to be interviewing the athletes. We're going to be riding on the chase boat, taking the pulse of the fastest race on water, just taking you inside and sort of sharing some of the knowledge that we've gained over long careers as able seamen.
Yep.
To make it a bit more accessible to you.
I think we're going to bring a layman's view on the Sail GP because it's the first time I've gone to go to a Sail GP event, and yourself and Matt Heath.
Yes.
And what will be interesting is we'll conduct an experiment around Matt Heath and his ability to, is he the GOAT? Could this weekend be the true test of the GOAT?
Yeah. I think he's going to get away with it.
Is this game 7?
He's just got that inevitability about him that only Michael Jordan's had. You know, you just feel like he's going to win at all times. No lead is too great for him to come back from. If you want to keep track of all of that, just follow us along on social media, or you can text SAIL to 3236 to get all the deets. And if you're heading along to the Sail GP, come and say good day as well.
Hey, yeah, Matt Heath will buy you a beer. If you find us, Matt Heath will buy you a beer at the Race Village, Sail GP, Littleton. I know there's 14,000 people headed to Littleton for this weekend, so at least a couple of you need to bail them up.
Yep.
Order the beers and go, thanks, Matt, and walk away with them.
Shout us a beer, Matt Heath. I'm looking forward to that one. We will make sure that we get footage of that. All right, time for a quick ad break, and we will be back to digest the sporting news of the weekend. Lane, you commentated your second ever Warriors game on Saturday night.
And my unbeaten run has been broken. I had 1 from 1. And I thought it was going to be 2 from 2.
Yeah.
But the last 2 minutes of that game scuppered that significantly.
With 3 minutes left to go, the Warriors were still in charge. They were leading. And then when the full-time hooter sounded, we had lost. That was an insane try. The Coates try, you would have seen the footage by now. That was one of the most ridiculous tries I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it was. He took off from at least 4 metres.
Yeah.
We were exaggerating at 5, but I looked at the replay and it was just inside the 5 metre mark.
Yeah.
He probably was about 1.5 metres off the ground.
Yep.
And I guess DWZ, he got DWZ'd. DWZ got DWZ'd.
Well, live by the DWZ, die by the DWZ.
Yeah. And we've had some correspondence in between around how to defend that.
Yeah.
How to defend that, and some good points around the fact that as soon as a winger becomes airborne, there's only one place they can put it.
That's right in the corner.
So do you just give up the tackle and dive for the corner? You put your body between the ball and the corner so they can't ground it.
Oh, 100% you do. I have seen in football, because, you know, obviously you're not allowed to touch it with your hands, someone grubbed one towards the goal, and I saw a Dutch man, dive with his hands beside his side and block the ball with his face. And I think that's probably the move here, except you're allowed to use your arms. But I think you just slide in like you're a mechanic on that little skateboard thing that they've got.
Yeah, so even feet first.
I think you're back first. You're on your back, sliding in head first.
Oh, that's a full squish though.
So you're mirror image of the guy that's above you, and then you've got the opportunity to block it like a basketball shot. I think that's how.
Yeah, because it's always going to be held with one hand, and you can just whack it out of their hand.
That's right. The problem's going to be if you commit to that maneuver too early. That's probably one of the easier tries another winger's going to score. He's just going to step over you and score it. But the thing that fills me with confidence about that performance is the 20 unanswered points that we scored in the second half.
Yep.
Until they were answered in dramatic fashion, and also that to beat us, the Melbourne Storm had to summon up one of the tries of the century.
Yeah.
To beat us. And short of them doing that, we had that game sewn up.
Yeah, we had, they were 18-6 down at halftime. Yep. Any other game, that's your death notice. Yeah, 18-6 at halftime, you're like, there's no way.
Yeah.
But they went bang, bang, hand bit of handsy, bang.
Yeah.
And it was like, boom, we were ahead 26-18.
Yeah. It was all of the momentum swung back the Warriors' way. I thought Pappenhausen really carved us up a bit. Interestingly, at Amy Park as well for quite a late game, there were more Warriors fans than there were Storm fans.
Insane.
Because
like legit more noise for Warriors plays, Warriors tries than the Melbourne Storm. And I'm gonna throw it out there. Melbourne Storm behaved like a bunch of prats afterwards, like they'd won the grand final. But anyway.
They did well. To them, that was their grand final because the road to the grand final goes through the wires this year. It was also, there were so many fans there that they had started their own little Mount Smart drum crew down there.
Yeah.
And they were going bang, bang. I don't know what their chant was supposed to be, but it was Warriors. Everyone was chanting for the Warriors. There were more people chanting for the Warriors when they tried to get their own shit going.
Do you think that was unofficial drums? Do you think they just brought in some sticks and were whacking seats?
Some contraband drums, you reckon?
I don't reckon they were drums. I reckon they improvised. They were whacking on like, whether it was the armrests or the signage on the side. I reckon it was unauthorized drums.
Little Trojan horse operation. Yeah, well, whatever it was all wires. We got a great we had so many texts come in. There must have been so many people watching this game on Saturday night because the text machine was just absolutely flooded. And the last one we got, I think, really summed it up. And I think it came in after the game. And it just reads, "Time for another cry wank. I'm going all in on women's short form K1 and men's squash." And I think that sums up the sentiments of the country this morning.
Yeah, it was a tough watch, particularly when it didn't finish till about 11:30, and you would have had a skinful by then.
Oh, yeah.
And the emotions would have been running high.
Yeah. She was tough going. There'll be a full breakdown on the Mad Monday podcast this afternoon. Myself and Chris Key will do a deep dive on that game and all of the action from the NRL as well. Super Rugby Lane, Satyrs lose 4 on the trot for the first time ever.
Thank you for your service.
It's just one of the things that we're doing to keep the game alive in New Zealand. You know, people always talk about how do we make it more fan-centric.
What a turgid affair, though.
Oh, yeah, it was.
It was pretty turgid.
It was, I mean, we were in the hotel lobby after the games for the Dulux Tradies 11, and this game had captivated everyone because to see the joy on people's faces at the Crusaders losing, it just filled me with pride for what we're doing for this country this year.
Yeah. Well done.
The sacrifices that we're making. 14-10, I think, was the score line in the end.
Yeah.
It was just one of those finishes where the Crusaders kicked a penalty. They went ahead by 3 points. I think it was 10-7, as you said, turgid affair. And then it was just all on down the other end. The Hurricanes got down the other end, and it looked like inevitable that they were going to score. And someone got yellow carded, then they did.
Yeah, look, I mentioned it this morning on my sports update on Matt and Jerry show on Hauraki. There's a lot of Cantabrians who have built their whole personality around how successful the Crusaders are.
7 in a row.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that I'd say in the thousands.
Yeah, more than half of the total available championships.
Yeah, and at the moment, they don't know who they are or what they're doing because they can't construct a personality around a team that are 4-0.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of people
0-4.
0-4 questioning their place in the world.
Yeah.
And I include Finn Caddy in that.
Yep.
And Joe Jury and potentially yourself.
No, I know exactly where I'm at. I'll explain it to you in a metaphor that Jeremy Wells told to me one day, is that Cantabrians don't know how to be on a beach. When they're sitting on a beach, they're uncomfortable, they're wearing too much clothes, they don't know like what games do you play, they don't really want to get in the water, they're just uncomfortable sitting on a beach. It's not really part of Cantabrian culture going down the beach. And that's how we feel right now. We're just sort of squirmy, a little bit sort of, who am I when I'm sitting on the sand? I've still got shoes on. I've got long pants. I'm just feeling, I'm looking a little out of place.
You brought some impractical food down as well. It's got sand all through it.
Sand all through it. I didn't think ahead to like put ice in the thing, or there's only one towel and I'm lying on that, but then what do I dry myself with? There's all these kind of little things that we're just feeling a little awkward about. We don't know quite who we are. And that's sort of how we're all feeling at the moment. Me personally, it's filling me with pride every week.
Well, you're taking a different angle.
Yeah.
You're taking a charitable angle.
Yes.
You feel like you're giving back to the other Super Rugby teams, which in itself is dripping with arrogance. And for me, I want to lean over the studio and punch you in the face, you smug little fuck.
It was one of, forgive me, I cannot tell the Marshall twins apart, but whichever one of them was watching the game with us, was walking around the hotel lobby trying to find Cantabrians to just laugh in their face.
That's Hamish. Yeah, Hamish lives in Wellington. So, yeah, he's a big Hurricanes fan.
Yeah, right. Well, he was going around just giving it to everyone. So, and I hear Tony Lyle on the commentary was calling Owen Franks 0-3. I think he's going to have to update that to 0-4, which is a great nickname. They will be breaking that down tomorrow. The podcast will be out.
Yep.
Champagne Rugby podcast. And your Chiefs absolutely humped the Drua.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good game, though. They humped them, but I love watching the Fijian Drua. Like, they seriously do run it from anywhere. Like, it's whether it's 2 minutes into the game or whether it's the 79th minute of the game, they run it out of their 22 every time. Yeah. And every time, when you're kind of shitting yourself a little bit because as soon as they get half a gap, they're gone.
They don't give a shit either.
That's great. I love them. And
they have the greenest of green lights, the Fijian Drua. Their coach has obviously been like, if you think you can throw a scucky behind the back pass, I don't care if you're the tight head prop, go for it.
And the tight head prop did throw a scucky back behind the back pass. And it was insane. And I love it. And as Joe Wheeler mentioned on the podcast last week, is like a couple more years. And these guys get it, like professional rugby becomes instilled in their culture and everything else. They are going to be a weapon, and I'd hate to play against them. They hit hard.
Oh boy!
In the tackle, they hit hard, and they're quick, they're confident, and they can do whatever they want from anywhere in the field. Yeah. But I mean, in this case, they just got out-munnered by the Chiefs. Highlight the drone show at halftime. At FML Stadium.
I haven't seen this, but a lot of people have been talking about it.
Well, you know how you see, the Chinese have done it heaps for any opening ceremony that they do, and they have like 10,000 drones doing like a dragon in a whole movie scene. This wasn't quite like that.
It was the New Zealand version.
It was the New Zealand version, but it's still a couple of hundred drones went up, and it was paid for by Hobbiton. So it was a story, and they had Gollum and Gollum's finger going into the ring, and as it hit the ring, all the drones went out. And then it had Gandalf, and then they had the Eye of Sauron and the mountain. It was pretty fucking cool.
That's awesome.
And then it finished with the Chiefs logo, the full Chiefs Mana logo.
Yeah.
It was great, and it was even better because we got to take the whole feed of that halftime show, and no one had to listen to us or listen to the Missionary Sky guys as well because it was a cool halftime show.
Yeah. Anyway. More of that, man. We've been talking about this for so long.
Yeah.
The one negative to come out of that is ALB. We haven't got the numbers through yet on Monday morning, but he may have set the record for the highest concussive force on a smart mouthguard.
Oh, yeah.
Because he got knocked the fuck out.
Yeah, we saw no replays of it either. It was basically, the game carried on, and there was just a dead body at the bottom of the screen, and we didn't know who it was. And then luckily the ref just stopped play because he knew it was serious.
Yeah.
And he got kind of medi-ambulanced off in the cart.
Yeah. Thumbs up on his way off, though.
Yeah, thumbs up. But we didn't know. They didn't show. Usually they show replays.
Yeah.
But obviously they're not doing that anymore because they've been directed to maybe not stick away from that kind of stuff.
Oh, really? Like
just so mums don't watch it and think young Johnny's going to get knocked the F out.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Good point.
Because we didn't know who it was, and we got no comms sideline, so we don't know. And it wasn't until we got text messages through on 3236 that we found out it was ALB.
Right.
But then he came out again with 5 minutes to go and waved to the crowd. He had a great shiner.
Yeah, I bet.
Great shiner. But I think it was just a clean knockout.
Yeah.
It was a clean punch.
Just right on the button.
They were worried about his neck for a bit, but I did think they were just worried full stop because he was unconscious.
Yeah.
So I think they didn't know until he woke up and went, fucking hell. So he might be out for a bit with that. He was definitely HIA, but
yeah. Well, it seemed like he was fine. I think the reports this morning were that no major damage, and it was okay. Like you said, just hit him right on the button. So he'll be out. But I'd love to see the numbers on that one. You know, we've got them.
Yeah, and someone's got them.
And we've been talking about they need to bring it into the commentary. Someone sent this in on yours, please. That they need to announce the head knock impact.
180! Yeah.
He's out of here. That would have been a golden opportunity for that. Just sticking with rugby before we move on. Ireland won the Six Nations across the weekend. That one kind of snuck under the radar.
Yeah.
There's just so much going on.
Just beat Scotland, though.
Yeah, second consecutive year, 17-13 win. Andy Farrell's Ireland had 2 potential tries held up by the heroic Scottish defence. But unfortunately for Scotland, they were outdone by the likes of proud Irishman Jamison Gibson Park, who was man of the match. Proud Irishman Bundy Arkey and proud Irishman James Lowe were also instrumental in that one.
If I was going to back on my country, I think Ireland would be the country I'd go
Really?
to, though. Yeah, because they've just got they're just great people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They've made a great choice, James Bundyaki and Gibson Park, I think, going to Ireland. It's
very similar country to ours.
Yeah.
Same population.
Yep.
Same vibe.
It's good, great vibes.
Very pub focused.
Yeah, absolutely. But I see another news, Wales lost to Italy over the weekend, and Warren Gatland has offered up his resignation to the CEO of Wales Rugby, who responded like hell. So he's not going anywhere. No. But they have potentially got the wooden spoon, I think, the Welsh. But also England beat France last-minute penalty there in Lyon.
Wow, dramatic.
So it's actually been pretty good. I've watched most of that because they're on a good time on a Sunday morning.
Yeah.
The first one's a bit early. I think it's like 6:30, but the second one is like 9 a.m.
Oh, right.
So I watched the England-France one, pretty brutal affair.
Yeah.
And again, great opening. Like they had a laser show where they drew the lines on the field. So they drew like the halfway goes on and then the 10-metre line, and then they drew the outsides, then they drew the posts. And then
that's very cool.
And then the whole tunnel was LED screen that the players walked out on. So they did the countdown on the tunnel floor for the players that came out, and so many fireworks. And then the fireworks all had blue, red, and white smoke.
Oh.
And there was no wind, so it stuck around like this, like the fog, this famous Super Rugby final fog, and eventually cleared. But it was awesome. Yeah, so they know how to do it. There's obviously a lot of money involved in that competition. But.
Yeah, but good to see rugby getting involved in that kind of thing. All right, time for one more quick break, and then we will be back with another round of Yours Please.
Yours, please. Brought to you by Leader, home of the lasagna topper.
I don't think I've ever opened up the app to more Yours Pleases than this morning. There was so many that had poured through across the weekend. And so we need to get through a fair chunk of them. We can't get through all of them, but let's get into it. First call at Yours Please.
Hey fellas, just loving that smile that appears on G Lane's face every time he mentions the Crusaders losing. It's all audio, so you can't see it, but just the way he says it, you can hear it. So, as a mainlander who loves to see the Crusaders in a bit of strife, yeah.
Well, that's very insightful from that man. This is obviously an audio medium, but even he can tell that I've got a stupid little smirk on my face every time I read out one of those Crusaders results.
Yeah, he may not be able to see it, but I can. And Lane does have a stupid little smirk on his face. Another one here. Caller, Yours Please.
Yeah, g'day Murray, first time caller, long time listener.
G'day Murray.
Just looking at the Super Rugby standings this week, and I've got to say my favourite number 11s, you got Lester Fainganuku, you got Mark Lee, you got Caleb Clark, and you got the Crusaders sitting in number 11, boy!
Oh, that is good. Yeah. That's good. Yep. More Yours Please like that. Yep. And I was like, fuck you. Yep. Fuck you.
Well, I think luckily for you, we do have some more. Another one here. Caller, Yours Please.
The bang bus is coming and everybody's pumping. New York to San Francisco, we gonna fuck the Storm up.
Oh, that's in reference to the fact that we mentioned at halftime that we needed to go bang bang. We needed to drop the bandwagon and get on the bang bus and just start banging the Storm, and we did.
Yep, and so that would have been halfway through when we did go bang, bang, bang. We've got another one here. Caller, Yours Please.
Susie Buttplug here. 29 minutes left in this Warriors game, and the bunker have let Jackson Ford score a try. They've given the referees have let us have a try. Oh my God! Give us the trophy now, Susie.
Shout out to Susie
Buttplug.
Yeah, very optimistic. Yep. Another one here. Caller, Yours Please.
The bang bus is not coming. The bang bus is not pumping. Fuck the sport. It's almost as bad as cricket.
And
I can that guy there. He's been hurt. Okay, he's been hurt by the Black Caps, and he's decided to go all in on the Warriors, and the Warriors have just turned around and hurt him again.
Didn't those last three consecutive Yours Pleases just sum up how that game went? Totally. The bang bus is coming. They've just given us a try. Give us the trophy now. The bang bus is not coming. A couple more to get through. Caller, Yours Please.
You wounders, what about the Canterbury Rams? Canterbury Rams surely is a good name.
Oh.
So that's in reference to the new NRL team that they're thinking about bringing down to the South Island. There's been a pitch for the South Island Kia. problem with the Canterbury Rams is that's what their basketball team's called.
Yeah, they're going to have to negotiate with or they can just maybe combine both of them and have a league operation and a basketball operation.
Like the Auckland Tuatara.
Yeah.
Didn't you MC the Canterbury Rams?
No, I was Rambo.
Oh, you were Rambo?
I was Rambo. Early days Rambo. I'm talking 1999, kind of 98, 99, when mascot uniforms weren't what they are now, which is, they can breathe.
Yeah.
They're mainly made of kind of lycra and lightweight material.
Yeah.
I was Rambo, and basically someone sewed together a wooden underlay from a bed for my outside, for my full. So basically, I wore a woolen underlay, fluffy underlay,
like a biomag.
Yeah, with the basketball shorts and the singlet on top, and then a paper mache ram's head that I reckon weighed about 20 kgs. It was so fucking hot in there, like literally. And then I almost became one of the first ever mascots to die on court during a halftime entertainment during a 70s themed game where I wore a medallion around my neck, and I tried to bounce off the trampoline and do a slam, and I slammed the ball, but my medallion got caught in the net, and I was hanging by a gold medallion from the hoop until it snapped about 5 or 6 seconds later, and I fell to the ground on my back on the crash mat. And all the crowd thought it was all part of it, like, slapstick comedy. And I'm like going,
oh, shit. You've told that story before. We've talked about this before, but that is the funniest shit to me. It's like the time the Denver Nuggets lowered their mascot, Rocky the Mountain Lion, from the ceiling. He passed out waiting for his cue. And so they just lowered this lifeless corpse to centre court in front of about 15,000 people. And to this day, I reckon he actually died and they covered it up.
yeah.
They just lowered a dead corpse to centre court.
Anyway,
oh, God, that's good. I think we may have one more. No, that's all of them. All right, just quickly, we'll mop up one of the headlines that caught my eye this morning.
Yeah.
2 New Zealanders have reportedly been arrested in Phuket, Thailand, after they allegedly attacked the local police officer and tried to snatch his gun when they were pulled over for speeding.
They set it off. They shot the gun.
Yeah, they shot the gun after the cop eventually caught up with them. The Kiwis objected to him filming them and grabbed his phone and assaulted him. During the fracas, one of them grabbed his gun, which went off.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here. There's a lot going on.
My read on this is just 2 wasted Kiwis who were biking around. They get pulled over and the guy pulled a gun and they freaked, I reckon. I was like, oh, shit, he's got a gun. So they try and subdue the guy and they're like, oh, fuck, he's a cop.
I reckon there's a lot going on here that we don't know about. Like you're saying, I think there's definitely drugs involved and drugs being ingested, and the paranoia that whether that person was, because I think
actually a cop.
Yeah, and whether they'd been set up, because Thailand's famous for that. You buy drugs and you go around the corner and you get arrested, and the drug dealers and the cops are in cahoots, and then you pay the cop off. They tried to pay the cop off, and and it apparently said no. That's why they ended up assaulting him. I don't know. But it says, I don't want to, come to draw any conclusions here, but I think they're going to do some time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They'll be away for a minute.
Yeah, I don't think it's any getting away with this. These two, I think they might have been brothers.
Yeah, they were.
They're in a spot of bother.
A real spot of bother.
And especially the footage you've seen. He's got the guy in a headlock.
Yeah.
He's in his.
It kind of cracked me up. I'm going to be honest.
He's in his scooter helmet with his headlock.
Yeah.
And the cop's like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Yeah, he would have like,
"What the fuck are these guys up to?"
Said anything like it.
Yeah.
Just got the wrong 2 guys. It'll be interesting to keep tabs on that one. All right, let's knock this thing on the head.
Tabs might have been the issue.
Let's knock this thing on the head before we get arrested by the Thailand cops, and we will be back tomorrow for a Tuesday edition of the Agenda podcast. We'll see you then.
You've been listening to the ACC's Agenda podcast. For more episodes, subscribe on iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts.